What's going on, guys? Today we're doing a video. It's a little bit kind of different. As you can see, I got the homie Zach here with me, and today he's been in kind of a lot of my videos here lately. So I figured today was going to be a good day for him to let you guys know what he's all about and how we became friends. So I'll let you take over from here.
Alright, as you know, my name is Zach Hall. Basically, I was born in Ohio for most of my life. I lived there. Honestly, at this point in my life, I'm now married and have a 4-year-old daughter. I'm pretty chill. I take pride in everything that we try to do. Pump out as much hard work as we can, which we have another video coming up soon that we're going to explain a little more why we've been slacking. But today, we really thought it'd be a good idea to let you know how we became friends. So, starting off, I moved here around February of the end of 8th grade year.
And 2009-ish.
Yeah, about 2009. And we didn't know each other till 9th grade year through ROTC, and I'm going to let you get your first experience off, then I'll let them know what I did.
Okay, so my first experience with him, actually like putting a face to the name, we were, like I said, we were in ROTC and we were lining up for a parade, and our ROTC instructor was like, "Yo, Mr. Hall, your shoes are incredibly shiny. Everyone's shoes should be as shiny as yours." And my brother's like, "Oh, so you're the Zach Hall that everyone's been talking about." So that was kind of the first time I actually like put a name to the face. And your first experience with me?
So the first time I really knew of Braden, everything I'd heard is he's just mostly the goofy guy. He's always trying to make people laugh. He took things seriously at times, but my first impression was, oh, he was just a jokester and didn't really seem like he wanted to be in ROTC, the first impression I got off of him. But later on, you know, as I said, I take pride in everything I do, so I did everything there was with ROTC, all the after-school programs, rifle team, orienteering team. And towards the end of, was it 9th grade year that we did an orienteering?
You talking about the conversation that like solidified everything?
No, I'm talking about like when we more knew each other. It was like the first time we were doing orienteering practices.
That was beginning of sophomore year.
Was it?
Yeah, because orienteering is like a beginning of the year thing. So yeah, because it was when Trey was commander.
It was, yeah, Trey was commander.
Trey's my brother, for those of you who don't know.
But I was always involved with that, and I got into orienteering, I say, sophomore year. And like, up until then, we knew of each other, but we weren't really friends. So we started orienteering together, and me and him, at this point, are associates. So we talked to each other, we hung out a little more.
Like acquaintances.
Yeah. So he was really the only person that I really knew within the orienteering team that I could stand to be around. So there in the beginning, it was just kind of, we were able to start finally making conversation because we didn't have any classes, lunch, or anything together at this point. It was all just ROTC interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we did orienteering practices, the more we were able to talk to each other, get a good feel for each other, and actually kind of become what you would call friends.
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember freshman year, like, through some mutual friends, we both discovered that we had a martial arts background. So, I mean, that kind of was like, okay, I'm going to try to make an effort to talk to this dude, just at least a little bit. But, you know, like I said, freshman year, we really didn't have the opportunity to do that. But, like, the moment where me and him considered, like, we really became friends, like I said, after orienteering. For those of you who don't know what orienteering is, that's going through the woods with a map and a compass looking for checkpoints and, yeah, that kind of thing. And we had a practice, and we were at school, and I was waiting on my dad to pick me up, and weren't you waiting on a ride too? Or were you just chilling?
No, I was waiting on my ride. They were late that day.
Yeah, we was just at the track at our high school, just walking around, and you know, we started talking about like different martial arts movies, and you know, our martial arts background, and how we both got into martial arts through Power Rangers and stuff like that. And you know, I think I'd say pretty mutual. That's where we like say we became like friends.
Yeah, we were walking around, we were just talking about a bunch of different personal things in our lives at that point, and him I watched Power Rangers as a kid. I loved Power Rangers, but he actually brought it up. We were just talking about martial arts films and in general, and he's like, "Have you ever?" He's like, "I know this is gonna sound weird, but have you ever watched Power Rangers?"
Anyone who grew up in the 90s has watched Power Rangers. Let's just be real about it, okay?
Which even to this day, we're both still big fans. I mean, if you could see over here on the right, I have a huge Power Ranger head that has all the seasons, the Legacy set.
And then up there-ish, if you could see that. I'm not sure if y'all can, but got a little wearable Red Ranger helmet up there, you know. Just small little plugs there.
Yeah. This conversation was the one that really solidified our friendship beyond just being friends, you know, just, oh, hey, we're just friends, we talk to each other occasionally. This is what really set it in stone that, hey, we are friends.
Like, you know, you got your school friends, like, oh, yeah, what's up, homie? Like, in the hallways of school. But, like, at this point, this was like we tried to make an effort to communicate outside of school and, like, try to do stuff together. But that thing, the hardest part about that was back then, I wasn't really the greatest student or that kind of thing. He didn't
care about his grades, so he was grounded. I was 99% of the time.
Yeah, like 98.7% of the time, I was grounded from all outside interaction. Didn't have Facebook, didn't have my cell phone. I couldn't hardly watch TV half the time. Like, literally, yeah, that's what it was.
It's pretty funny.
And then after, you know...
tell them what the conversation was. Get into the conversation.
What conversation?
The conversation at the track.
At the track. Literally, we just did. I mean, it was literally just us talking about, like, our favorite kinds of movies and, you know, action movies and... one of the things is... some of the movies I was into were like the foreign films, like Hong Kong and Thai action films, and especially like in the 80s and 90s. You know, you had the ones, and this is the exact phrase I use when the fight scenes are usually like punch, 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 kick, 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 punch, backflip, backflip, backflip for no reason. And you know, I really enjoyed that for some reason. But you know, that's basically how the conversation went, and then from there, you know, we tried to make an effort to talk as much as we could. And, you know, we started talking about, like, doing different projects together, some which have came to fruition by this point, and some that have not after 7 years. But that's besides the point.
The binder's just over there.
But yeah, and then, you know, some things happened.
Going forward after track day. We want to break this down here for you. So now we've become better friends. We've tried communicating, but again, like I said, he was grounded.
A lot.
But sophomore year... I don't know, we didn't have lunch together sophomore year. It was junior year. We started doing more things together with orienteering, and we had lunch together, so we were able to actually talk about certain projects we were trying to do. At one point, we had like a band we were trying to get together. We've been working on a Power Rangers fan fiction for...
ever.
years at this point. It's changed over the years, and some setbacks have happened. But orienteering was really what... started it all.
That's what put everything else in motion.
Because there's even pictures, I don't have them readily available for this video, but they are on one of our old flash drives in there of him falling asleep on my shoulder on the way to orienteering trips, and just us hanging out over time.
Yeah.
And all through the rest of the school year, junior and...
senior year, for the time I was there, senior year.
For the time he was there, senior year was a big thing. And actually, we went to... this was sophomore year, wasn't it? Or was it junior year, the camping trip?
Camping trip was...
sophomore, wasn't it?
Camping trip that I... because we had two camping trips. One was freshman year, and then y'all went on one junior year, and I wasn't able to go to that one.
Because we were friends the camping trip we went on. Because it was to Tennessee, and it was the Zipline. Yeah,
that was freshman year.
So I'm going to tell you a funny story.
Oh, no. We're not telling the Zipline story, are we?
Yes, we're telling the Zipline story.
Oh, God.
So we're actually friends at this point, and we're hanging out. So over this weekend, we're out camping. We had to go set up our tent, gather our own firewood. It was really cold.
With ROTC, mind you. This was an ROTC experience.
So we set up all the tents. The guy's tent had like no safety pins in it for a military tent. They were all missing. So we were just kind of there hoping it stayed up, and we put all the safety pins we could in the female's tent so it didn't fall on them. So throughout this, we gathered all of our own firewood. I actually had a few other friends that me and him would ram trees against other trees to break them in half. So we'd had even easier firewood. But over the course of this weekend, we did like rifle competitions, which was one of my specialties, and then we had a zipline / rock wall venture. And the harnesses for these weren't the best, but Braden going down the zipline screamed like a girl. And if you haven't watched the LA Adventures, find the LA Adventures where we went to Six Flags, and you
Number
will hear,
4. That was
you
number
will
4.
hear his girl scream. So he goes down screaming like a girl. We're all making fun of him, of course, because it's hilarious. It's so high pitched.
Like, literally, you would think a 5-year-old girl was being murdered, is how high it was.
And next we had archery, and I'm going to let you take this over from here.
So we spend a good hour and a half over at the rappelling wall in the zip line. And then the next activity we have is archery. And archery, I'm fairly sure everyone knows, bow and arrow, stuff like that. So we go over, and the archery instructor's kind of, he's introducing himself. He says, "Man, sound like y'all had a blast. Who was the chick who went down the zip line that we could hear all the way from over here?" And he does that. And the dude chuckles, thinking, okay, really, who was it? Again, my arm goes up involuntarily. And it was... I don't know if I should be proud of it or not proud of it, but
It was funny.
it just happened.
Because at this point, everybody's like, yes, it really was him.
Yes, like everyone, I had 20-something fingers pointed in my direction. But like I said, we did all that fun stuff in high school, and then in the middle of senior year, I ended up, for personal reasons, moving back to Oklahoma, where I'm originally from. And I think at that point, that's where our friendship actually grew, because I wasn't grounded anymore, and I was able to talk to him a little bit more, and we were actually able to discuss some projects and stuff. But it was a little bit harder to get things off the ground with him being here in Virginia and me being in Oklahoma.
But that's when a lot of our friendship grew, because we were able to talk a lot more. I mean, we would spend
Hours.
4 or 5. I think even one call got up to 8 hours one night. We were just talking about movie scripts, trying to work out dialogue, and
just tossing ideas back and forth.
And when he first left, he didn't contemplate. Like, I was actually supposed to go to karate with him, to his instructor, because I wanted to see what his school was like, because it's further away from my house. And he just calls me like, "Hey, me and my dad's kind of had issues. We're just gonna go." And then he just says, "Hey, I'm moving." No explanation. It was probably 3 months with no contact. Couldn't get a hold of him on Facebook, nothing. And out of the blue, get a call from Oklahoma. I answer it. I normally don't answer unknown numbers. I just let him leave a message. But I answer it because it's like, okay, I know he's from Oklahoma. And it was him, and that's what kind of rekindled everything, and we started going.
Yeah, and then it really helped when I got my own cell phone that I actually paid for. So no one could tell me, "Hey, you're grounded from it."
That helped.
But I spent, for those of you I spent a good 4.5 years back in Oklahoma, and then I decided, I'd be closer to reaching my dreams here, because, I'm closer to Atlanta, North Carolina, all these places, and I've had opportunities to go to Cincinnati to work on some short films and stuff, some of which I've done, some of which I have not. But I've had more opportunities here to follow my dreams, and we talked about it before I even moved out here, and he offered me the chance, and I really appreciate y'all bringing me into your house and bringing me and making me a part of y'all's daily lives.
So what happened there was he was trying to get a gig out in L.A., and he found his name was Rory Anderson. He's a director from New Zealand that did a few things, and he was
Australia.
Sorry, Australia. I apologize for that, Rory. So basically, he was doing kind of like a superpower beatdown type thing, just superheroes put it against each other type situation, just for fun, while he was doing a documentary while he was here. And Braden had actually sent him in, got the job, and he was only looking for local people. And then I was talking to Braden on the phone, happy for him. I was like, see if he needs a friend. And about the time I sent Braden this message, he comes back saying, "Hey, do you have somebody that could fight with you?"
Yeah, and I'll explain this all from my point of view. Literally, I've been doing my online acting thing, doing online audition after online audition, kept getting no's. And I found this one, looking for actors for a superhero fight series. And I was like, "Oh, this sounds kind of cool," I'll send in my stuff. And, I didn't really think anything of it, because, I just kept getting no after no after no. So finally, I sent it in. Then a couple hours later, he was like, "Hey, you're really good. The only problem is you're from Oklahoma. I was looking for people more local to LA. But if you're willing to travel and come out, I'll give you a shot. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll come out there with you. And so, you know, he says, all right, great. You know, we'll set up a time and a date later on. And I was like, cool. And so I was super excited. So the first thing I do is call my boy. And I'm like, dude, got my first acting job. Super pumped. And he's like, dude, what is it? So I explained it to him. He's like, yo, see if he has a friend. See if you need a friend to fight with you. And I was like, you know, I would, but, you know, it's my first acting job. I don't really want to push my boundaries, you know. He's like, come on, dude, just try. And I was like, I don't know. And then while we're on the phone, I get the email saying, hey, do I need to find somebody out here for you to fight with, or do you have somebody that you know that would be willing to do the episode with you? And I was like, well, now that you mention it. And so, kind of jealous of him. He didn't have to audition. He just kind of was in by association. And, you know,
I'm a good fighter.
But
I come from a rough background. I can fight, and plus I do have martial arts training, so we're good on that.
So, but, you know, we did that. We went out to LA together. And then, you know, I came back for, you know, we came back and it was like 2 weeks later whenever I got the call for a position open at a Walmart down here saying, you know, if you want it, you can have it. And, you know, I called him because he had offered. He's like, yo, you can stay with us if you want.
He wanted me to find a place for me and him to move in together. It was like, at the time, you know,
money was tight for all the way around.
Right. So basically, me and my wife, and we have a 4-year-old daughter together. We live with my mom because she watches our child while we're at work. And I basically sat down and just talked to mom, like, hey, Braden wants to know if he can move in. Would that be alright with her because it's her house? And she said yeah. And he had a job at Walmart for the longest time and moved on to greener pastures since then. I mean, he got a job where I'm at, working for Intuit QuickBooks. So, I mean, we make pretty good, decent money off that. And since then, we've been able to actually
write together, come up with projects, and just throw ideas back and forth a little bit easier. Because when I lived in Oklahoma, it was kind of hit and miss for both of us. Because, you know, he worked early hours, so I never knew when he was going to be asleep. And my days off were never consistent, so it was kind of hit and miss with each of us. Whereas now we live together, we can, you know, if I want to talk to him about something, I can usually just go in the other room and talk to him about it. But, I mean, now that we're together and, like, we got these projects that, like I said, we've been working on, which we'll go into a little bit more on another video. But, you know, we've been able to do a lot of stuff since I moved in, and hopefully this takes us to bigger and better things. You got anything else you want to add before we close out?
Just real quick, if y'all have any questions about wanting to know more about me, just put it in the comments. I'm completely open book, man. I don't mind to answer any questions. This has just been kind of like a big how we became friends video. So if you have any more questions for me, just let me know. You know, we'll do another video if we need to. Like I said, I'm pretty much an open book, so no questions are really off limit.
So yeah, that's kind of the backstory, how me and him became friends. So like I said, if you got any questions about him or have any more questions about how we became friends, just leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to them as soon as I have a chance to. So yeah, like I said, we got more videos coming up soon, and we got some projects hopefully coming up in the works that we'll be able to talk more about later, hopefully. But, you know, in the meantime, we'll catch you guys up later. Peace.